Hello, Thomas YouTubers. This is part 3 of Stefan's Talking Action Thomas restoration. If you remember in part 1, I showed you this this shell, how it is damaged. If you look right here, you can see the damage is pretty extensive, where that whole fender is coming off, rotated around, and you can see this is even worse over here. You can see where the whole thing is come undone. It's cracked back here. It's also cracked right there. Same thing with there. The only thing really holding it on right now together is the sticker. The sticker is what's holding it on. All right, same thing over here. The sticker is what's holding it on. You can see it could fall off if the sticker wasn't there. Okay, what Stefan did or somebody else did along the way is they put this tape on here, and I showed you that in part 1. They put the tape on there to hold this all together, and when I tried to remove the tape, it would pull off the sticker. So right here you can see where it's pulled off the sticker. So I'm gonna go in there with some glue and glue that back down, go into with some super glue and super glue all this. I'm gonna try to repair this because I don't have an extra shell. What has happened is, let me get a good one. Now the face on this is terrible, but it still works, but I don't have any more spares. What happened is, when somebody was applying and putting this back together, when they took it apart, these tabs right here, see this tab right here and this tab right here, you slide it in there and then push it down into the foot plate, and then you screw it together right there. They put it in there and they pushed down with, maybe it hit on the switch, off and on switch, and they put too much pressure and it broke these tabs off right here. See, we'll put them all next to each other so you can see. See how the one in my left hand has the tabs and the one in my right doesn't. The one on the left hand doesn't have the tabs, and the one on my right still has the tabs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt, this shell is an old 2007, January 2007 Thomas. The colors are similar, not the same, but similar. I'm going to go in and use some epoxy, fill in this area with epoxy right here. I'm going to take some parts off this shell and use my industrial hair dryer heating gun, and I'm gonna cut some parts out of this and bend it to shape so it fits in these holes right here and provides me a new tabs. It's not going to be perfect because that did not break off smooth. You see it's got a little dent right there. I can grind this down smooth, but that is not going to be perfectly smooth, so you're going to be able to see it a little bit. But that's the plan. That's what I'm going to do, and hopefully it all works out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this Elmer's super glue here, or not Elmer's, Gorilla super glue. Put it on my stick right here, and I'm going to put it inside these cracks right in here. Okay, get some more. Okay, close it down. Hopefully it'll stick. Just going to hold it there for a few minutes, few seconds. Let go of it, and I'm just going to spread it a little bit right here. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Let it fold down a little bit so I can get inside there, inside of it. All right, get over here. All right, now close it down. Spread it a little bit. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, if you break your leg, they put it in splints. But we put it in a cast nowadays. I cut out some hard, clear pieces of plastic here, and you can see it right here. 2 pieces. I'm going to put super glue on the back side, and then I'm going to put it over the cracks. And that way it'll supply some extra support on the piece that is broken. Let's see if I can get this onto the plastic instead of stuck on my hand. I'm going to put it right there over the existing crack. Now that's going to really help support that that crack. Okay, over here I got to trim it a little bit because it won't sit right inside that groove right there, because there's a groove. So let me show you the corner. It's really not a groove, it's a corner. See that corner? It's got a, so I got to cut a 90 degree so it comes down and fits right. Whoop, there we go. 90 degrees so it fits right inside there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Okay, I have that little 90 degree notch cut in it, so that'll go right inside here, and that way I got it covering that broken space. So let's go ahead and do that. This time I'll put the glue on here instead of on, might make it easier for me to hold on to. Okay, you're going to spread it a little bit, make it so it's a little everywhere here. This is what you have to do to repair things that are over 20 years old and you can't get parts and pieces anymore for it. You have to figure out your own way of doing it. And that way, okay. Let's see if I use this to help support it. Okay. Alright, so we got the little bit of glue can be seen right here that leaked through. Okay. Alright, but I can probably buff that out, I think. But that's better than what it was. Okay. So that's taken care of. The next step is to go ahead and mix. I'm going to grind these down once it's really secure. I'm going to grind these down flat. And then the next thing I want to do is cut out some tabs to make my own tabs, insert them inside those spaces right there with some epoxy. Okay, take a look, see what we did. Let me turn this Dremel tool off. So I tried to make it as flat as I could. Now there's going to be that little dimple right there. You'll be able to see it. So, but I tried to make it as flat as I can. Now I got to customize and make some brackets to fit inside these little hollow areas, and come out and make a 90-degree turn out like this, resembling these right here, resembling those. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, so that's the next step. Alright, this is the piece I'm going to use to make my tabs. Pretty thick piece. I'm going to cut it lengthwise right here to give me 2 pieces. And then I'll use my industrial heat gun to start bending it. Okay, now that I have my 2 pieces that I'm going to start manipulating and making 90-degree bends in, This is what's going to help hold it down. I got 2 of them. Next thing I'm going to do is remove the stickers, and I am going to bend them.
Okay, this is my heat gun. I'm going to turn it on and get it up to 500 degrees. And then I'm going to take the pieces that I cut out, the blue plastic, and then I'm going to use this heat to bend those pieces of plastic.
Okay, I got the general shape that I want, so it'll fit right inside that little cavity right in there. I want it to fit right inside there. I'll repeat the same steps for the other tab that I need right over here. I'll shape it and trim it, and then sit it inside there, and then epoxy it into place. So I'll just have to do some trimming now. Okay, so I got done trimming the tabs that I created, and I went ahead and put them in. I used JB Weld here, epoxy, 2-part epoxy. Only takes about 5 minutes to dry, but I went ahead and put them in there. Let's get a little closer so you can see. All right, now the tabs, let me get it sort of focused a little bit here. Now the tabs are a little longer than normal, but I didn't want to trim them and have them trim them too short where it doesn't work. So remember I used the back end of that to make these, but I have a busted up Talking Action Thomas right here, just to make sure it'll work. So you take it in like that, it goes in like this right here, bring it in, it falls in there, and it clicks in, and there it is. Now it sits pretty good on this side, but there is a little gap right there, and that's because when it broke, the original break, it didn't break flush. It broke high, and so there's a little bit of gap right there. But unless you're absolutely looking for it, you won't be able to see it. All right, but that's the conclusion of this part of the Stefan's restoration. That's a quite long video, so thanks for watching. See you next time.